Welcome back to the Breakfast with Tedflix podcast. Tonight, this morning, whenever you're listening to this, we're breaking down the top 5 best moments of House of the Dragon, Season 2, Episode 1, A Son for a Son. What you doing, son? If you're not watching this show, I don't know what you're doing. This show is peak. This is peak entertainment. And this is peak entertainment as well, because we're breaking down the peak of the peak, the top 5 best moments. So without further ado, let's get into it. So before we get into the top 5 best moments of Son for a Son, we first got to talk about some dishonorable mentions. If you are a part of this camp, the dishonorable mentions, get out of here. You're going to the wall. You're going to the 700-foot wall of ice, and it's not going to be very nice. Can you guess who's a part of the dishonorable mention this week? Can you guys guess? It would be these two. Alicent and Sir Criston Cole. What are they doing? She says, oh, never again. And then what happens at the end of the episode? They're literally doing it again. What's going on here? Didn't Sir Criston Cole quite literally kill 2 people in cold blood? Did that not happen? Like 2 completely innocent people are dead because of Sir Criston Cole. Like, how is he still able to walk around? Oh, it's because he's literally her booty call. Right. He killed Lord Beesbury at the table and straight up murked Sir Laenor's, knight that he quote unquote spars with, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean. But that doesn't make it okay to just punch him to death at a wedding and turn him into jelly. I thought he was, Mr. Oh, I can't forego my chastity. But it's like, dude, you're a hypocrite. You're literally a massive hypocrite. And then we see at the end of the episode, Alicent getting laid while her grandson is getting slayed. You are going to the wall. You are dishonoring everyone. This pretty much encapsulates the entire dishonorable discharge that they're getting. Rogan passed around like a flea-bottom wench. So you want me to be your whore? And then she's like, yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. We got some comments here. Master of tongue. Oh no. This one got me. Queen Rhaenyra is so kind for giving unwanted toys to those who are less fortunate. Fire. And bet he's probably going to ask her to run away with him to sell oranges too. Isn't that funny? This was like the funniest part of season 1. If I'm being honest, this scene of him just being like, so you want me to be your whore? I would have just been like, is that a queenly command? Are you royally decreeing you want me to be your whore? I mean, but then what happens with Alicent? The hypocrisy is insane. We have covered our dishonorable mentions. Alicent and Sir Criston go to the wall. Say what up to Cregan Stark for me. You're banished. You're dishonoring the entire show with your hypocrisy. Get out of here. Alicent's getting laid while her grandson's getting slayed. That's tragic. But here we go. We're locking it in. We're getting into the real top 5. Is y'all for real? Here we go. We got our top 5 title card. Boom. Our number 5 best moment is
the heir to the throne bothering you, Tynan.
No. And dude, Lil Jaehaerys, I think they casted him perfectly. And then this part. This line right here is the number 5 part. Because I actually laughed out loud. He's like, because I think he wants a ride. A pony ride. Right?
Because I think he wants a ride.
Your Grace.
A ride?
A pony ride.
A pony ride.
Wouldn't that be fun, Jaehaerys? Should the Master of Coin be your royal steed?
Yeah, and then he laughed. Yeah, he's like, I'm being dead ass though. You better mount him, Jaehaerys. Like, yeah, that's so funny, Thailand. Yeah, get out on all fours. Giddy up. Come on. Jaehaerys, wouldn't you like the Master of Coin to be your royal steed? And little Jaehaerys, just shaking his head. Yup. Yes. Sir Thailand was trying to get with Rhaenyra. He's like, we could make a dragon pit, if you were my wife one day. And, he was trying to wheel and deal Rhaenyra in like the 3rd episode or something. So I never been a fan of Sir Thailand. He just always came off a little too strong, right? And I wanted to see Jaehaerys ride him like a pony. That is our number 5 moment. Number 5 was Aegon and Thailand. But coming in at number 4 the number 4 moment has got to be the Winterfell opening. As soon as the episode opened with this, I was like, oh, we're back. We are back. We are literally thriving. Like this type of music with this opening shot right here with the Raven and this music and seeing Winterfell, chills. Literally chills. Literally. It's too good. And to hear Sir Cregan's monologue.
Duty is sacrifice.
Duty.
It eclipses all things, even blood.
Bro, that intro plus leading into the wall, it's easily number 4. That's easily the number 4 spot. But this part is definitely a top moment right here. Because we got our boy Cregan Stark stepping up to the plate and he gives him the whole lowdown, right? I mean, I've just loved seeing Winterfell cutting to the wall. I mean, whole atmosphere, the vibes, the voice of Cregan talking. And when Cregan starts here, you know, Cregan's monologue was great, but then this line is also a part of the number 4 spot.
My father brought King Jaehaerys and Queen Alysanne to see the wall and watched as their dragons, the greatest power in the world, refused to cross it.
Dude. And then that White Walker
My
theme.
ancestors built a 700-foot wall of ice to keep out snow and savages.
Dude,
What
so
does
that was huge because that ties into Game of Thrones in season 7. But it's cool that back in this day, all the regular Targaryen dragons before Daenerys' dragons, they were all too scared to cross the wall, which obviously means they could sense something was going on over there, you know? And he's like, oh yeah, and this part's really cool because he looks at him and he's like, he asks Cregan, what does the wall keep out? And then Cregan just looks over at him and says, death. Coldest line by Cregan. I do like seeing a brand new Stark, and I do like that whole music, the voice, the ambience, you know, the foreshadowing of the dragons not wanting to cross the wall. I love all of that. But right here, they're talking like, hey, they help out our cause a little bit. Like, is there anything you guys can do? And the only thing that Sir Cregan can really do is offer up 2,000 graybeard. Some old men who have seen too much war, they can go fight in your war. And he's like, you know, they're tough. They'll fight like northerners. And then they get a raven. Uh-oh. You gotta flip a coin every time you get a raven in Game of Thrones. Either some ish is going down or you're being summoned to go somewhere else. And this was kind of both, actually. So I guess there could be a third option. All of the above. Hey, ish has gone down and you gotta go and sort that ish out. And this was the best facial expression I will say of Cregan right here when he reads the little thing and we get to see his reaction. And he's just like, oh, this dude I just got to know well, his brother's dead. Oh, well, hey dude, I know I just promised you like 2,000 graybeards, some old ass fighters, but you know, by the way, you probably should know your younger brother's gone. Tragic. So pretty much, I mean, dude, I don't know why Rhaenyra sent the older brother to go talk to Cregan. I guess because it was a better age gap. But that age gap didn't really help them in their cause. He got 2,000 old guys. Oh, great. I'm pretty sure Lucerys would have been able to do that. Oh, yeah, and it's cool. It is cool how he's like, you know, I'm always torn between looking north and looking south. Making sure the wall and everything there is good. And looking south at like my own borders at Winterfell, because literally the north is like just as big as like the other kingdoms. Like the north is literally huge, and then there's the land north of the wall. So he pretty much has his own like country essentially. So I kind of get why he's like, you know, we don't exactly have too many of the resources, but I can give you some graybeards, right? So yeah, the whole vibe. The Winterfell opening, the monologue, get to meet a new Stark, and he had some fire lines about the greatest power in the world, and they couldn't cross our wall. You know, what keeps them out? Death. And, or what does it keep out? Death. You know, so had some just great lines, great moments, but can only give him 2,000 graybeards, and he's not going to be in the rest of the season. Kind of a bummer. It's why this is only the number 4 spot. But the North remembers our oaths. The North remembers. But do you guys know what the season 2, episode 1, number 3 top moment is? We have just gone over our number 4 moment, that Winterfell opening, but now coming in at our number 3 moment. Our number 3 moment has got to be Daemon wanting that smoke. It's right after the Winterfell moment when Daemon actually is about that action. He's ready. And he goes up to Rhaenys after she shows up. And he has got some great lines here. It's so good to see Daemon back, just ready for action. Let's see, this scene. This should play. Here we go. Right when Rhaenys shows up with melees, or it's something like that. I don't know if it's pronounced like that, but he's like, he just is standing on business. My boy Daemon, standing on business. He's like, we're going out again. Take your mounts, we're flying again. We can share that moment. We can share that moment with you guys here. I usually am safe as long as we have some type of just quickness to it, you know? Oh, Melis. That's how they pronounce it. It's like, easy, Melis. Number 3 moment, right here. Number 3.
Take your mount again. We're flying out.
We're flying out.
I alone patrol over 100
And dude,
miles
him and his
endlessly,
armor,
endlessly
clean.
to hold the blockade.
He's locking down the
Venus must
blockade.
gorge
All
and
her.
rest, as must I.
He's like, hold
We're
up.
going to King's Landing.
To
We're
what
going to
end?
King's Landing.
Killing Vhagar. I cannot face that hoary old bitch alone. With my dragon and yours together, we can kill Vhagar and her rider. Make it a son for a son.
Make it a son for a son.
This is the Queen's command.
The Queen remains out.
The queen remains absent. But dude, this whole confrontation between Rhaenys and Daemon, I mean, just fire. Just absolute fire. I love this scene. Getting to see Daemon back in action, just ready to go. He just needs a green light. As soon as he gets that green light, he's going. As soon as he gets that, he's literally going to be cooking.
Yours together, we can kill Vhagar.
With my dragon and yours together, we can kill Vhagar.
For a son.
Make it a son for a son. I'm like, yes.
The Queen remains out.
Yes.
What if Aemond would happen upon her?
Then I would be Aemond.
And he looks at her. That was a good moment too. When he's like, she's a fool to go alone. What if she came across Aemond and Vhagar? And Rhaenys says, oh, I would pity Aemond. Because she knows Rhaenyra right now. As soon as she sees Aemond, good night. You are without hesitation going to be torched. Torched. Cyrax Dracarys. It will happen on sight as soon as Rhaenyra sees Aemond. That's why Rhaenys says, well, I'd pity Aemond, because then he'd be toast. He'd be literally burnt toast. Daemon talking to Rhaenys, just ready to go, right? He says, we got to kill Vhagar. I can't take Vhagar by myself, though. And so I'm wondering if he's like talking about him riding Caraxes, his red dragon, the blood worm, as they call it. I'm pretty sure he's just talking about Caraxes. Like, I can't take on Vhagar with just Caraxes, but if I had Caraxes and Meles, which is Rhaenys' dragon, then he's like, I'm pretty sure we could take him. But my question is, where is Vermithor, that big boy dragon that he was talking to last season? That's my question. But yeah, I think Daemon, all the Daemon scenes were just fire. So yeah, Daemon just ready for action, saying, take your mounts again, we're flying out. We're going to King's Landing. I need your help to take out Vhagar. Just seeing him ready for action and seeing Daemon in general, that's the number 3 moment. But what is the number 2 moment? Well, the number 2 moment of the House of the Dragon season 2 premiere, that number 2 moment, it's gotta be the scenes of Rhaenyra grieving Lucerys. This one look is just, she doesn't even say anything, but it's just her look. I mean, dude, that is incredible acting. How is that so good? I was like, I've never seen emotional acting like that be so good in a long time, in a really long time. So that was one of the first moments, of her grieving. But then when she finds the remains with Cyrax, also that special effects shot right there, her hopping off the dragon. I mean, special effects, the dragons look insane. They look great. So just the quality of that deserves a top moment. But then you know, it does hit in the feels. Here, I'll play here. And this moment and another moment later just like highlights, you know, with the music, it just hits you in the field. This is a Rhaenyra and Lucerys Remains music cover. Dude, I've got chills just hearing this now. But, you know, seeing her roll up to the remains, like, this music with her just dropping down and her just weeping after finding the clothes. Like, rarely do I get emotional myself watching these shows. It doesn't happen too often, but I gotta be honest, this music with this moment, I mean, that's tough. Because that's when it becomes real. That's when the loss becomes tangible. That's when, you know, it's for real. And I like, even though there's a dragon in the background, like that acting with this music, I am literally just like, I'm like in another world and I literally think this is happening. Like this is real. That's how music and a good actress and a good story, it's just a TV show, but it feels like, you know, these people, it feels like this loss is real. And so I just rank Rhaenyra grieving and these scenes, and I love how they paid a little tribute, a little memorial to Luke. You know, I just thought that was all really great and incredible acting, and definitely deserves the number 2 spot as the second best moment of the episode was Rhaenyra's grieving her acting over Luke. I mean, tragic, completely tragic. But, ladies and gentlemen, that finally leads us to our number one moments of the show, of the premiere. It's time. What was the number 1 part? Do you guys know? Do you guys know what the number 1 part is? Well, let's get into it. Title cards. Let's get it. The number 2 part was Rhaenyra's grieving, but our number 1 top moment of the episode, Daemon is talking to Sir Eric, and then all of a sudden they hear the dragon in the background, right? And then they're just like, oh, it's about to go down. They hear and see the dragon flying in, and this walk up, I mean, bro, this scene, that walk up, I mean, chills. Like, she is just ready for business. She's ready for business right now. And then you hear in the background, Queen Rhaenyra, Queen of the Andals and the First Men, rightful Queen of the Throne. You know, that hearing that in the background as she's walking up, right? And then I loved this part when she sees Daemon, and Daemon gives like the little kind of lion cat headbutt of love. And he says, "Did you find everything that you need?" And then she shakes her head yes. And I just love Daemon's reaction to that. He just pulls back and he's like, okay, so that means we're ready to go. We're ready to scrap. It's time to go. It's time for action. We're good to go, right? Okay. Like he's just ready. He's like, "You find everything you need?" And she, you know, she's like, "Yeah," but doesn't say a word. She nods her head. You can definitely see her nod her head, right? And it's just like, ooh. And then you get even more chills as she's walking up to the table, because then Daemon says, "The council stands at your ready, your grace," right? As she's walking up, he's like, "The council's ready. We're at your command, your grace," as she's walking up. And, you know, they're all, and that table is just so cool. As she walks over to the table, right? And Rhaenys, you know, and then, so Daemon says, "I will fly out to Harrenhal at your command and set out our hold on the Riverlands." You know, Daemon's just like, "Hey, I'm at your command. I will do whatever you say, my queen," right? As I would. Team Black all the way. My queen Rhaenyra, I will fly out to Harrenhal at your command, right? That's what Daemon's saying. And then Rhaenys, she actually is saying how, you know, the blockade that we have is soon going to cut off all sea-bound trade to King's Landing, which is obviously good. That's going to cut off King's Landing and a lot of their supplies for sure. I bet you they had significant amount of supplies, you know, that they depend on those sea trade routes. I mean, King's Landing is literally on a peninsula. So like you cut them off with the blockade, cut off all of their trade to King's Landing. That's a big deal. But Rhaenyra's like, no, like she doesn't say no or shake her head, but she's not acknowledging Harrenhal, trade routes. No. And then it pans into her and she says her one and only line. And what's her one and only line in the entire episode? It's the, I want Aemon Targaryen. I want him. I want him dead. She doesn't say I want him dead, but she's just, I mean, she obviously implies I want Aemon Targaryen. And just like, again, the way she's just like shaking and just the look on her face. I mean, she's like, I'm being dead ass. I want Aemon Targaryen. Dead ass. Bring me Aegon Targaryen. Or not Aegon. Aemond. I want Aemon Targaryen. And I would just be like, yes, my queen. Yes. I'll go up against the biggest dragon for you to get him. I'll find a way. Okay. I'm in. You got it. I mean, and then here, we then get one of the better or best memes from that episode. Let's see. This one. Rhaenyra, I want Aemon Targaryen. Daemon 5 seconds later. Hooded Daemon. You know, just ready for action. Hilarious. That's why we love Daemon. Because dude wasted no time. Just was like, oh, green light? Okay. Well, here we go. Time to scrap. Time to get scrappy with it. Boy, does he get scrappy with it. He really does. So that has got to be my number one moment. That dramatic entrance of Rhaenyra with her walking in. And, you know, the whole council's at the ready. We're all wondering, all right, Rhaenyra, what are you going to do next? What is about to happen next? And Rhaenyra just says, I want Aemon Targaryen. And that cues Daemon to then, you know, be hooded dark side Daemon, literally. And so we got to talk about the ending. We'll talk about the ending. This is my number one moment. She is still my queen. I'm full on Team Black, Team Rhaenyra all the way. And even with the end of the episode, I still am. It's obviously messed up what happens with you know, those two guys. They're called Blood and Cheese. This whole Blood and Cheese part of the story. Like, obviously it's messed up what happens, right? These guys kind of were getting paid by Daemon to go in here. And they obviously were supposed to find Aemond, right? But there is a scene where Daemon is talking to him and they're kind of just like, well, what if we don't find the prince? And then Daemon just gives him this look and then it cuts. Literally, he gives him this look, doesn't say anything, and then it cuts away. So a lot of people are saying that when the Blood and Cheese guy were like, what if we don't find Aemond? That look by Daemon is him pretty much saying, then kill one of the babes. Doesn't matter to me. It'll still be a son for a son. But that's not what Rhaenyra wanted, right? That just makes Rhaenyra look bad, you know? And so I think that's going to start a big rift between Daemon and Rhaenyra. Because even though Daemon is, right, about that action, right? He's already out for blood. Oh, and this is kind of like the Reigns of Castamere music. It's kind of like the Red Wedding music. So this Blood and Cheese was supposed to be the Red Wedding type moment of the episode, which I'm glad they didn't show the actual child getting murked. Thank goodness. But yeah, you know, even though the child gets murked at the end and the Blood and Cheese moment happens, they sneak in and, you know, they don't find Aemond, but they're able to, you know, they threaten Helena and whatnot. And I did feel bad for Helena. But, and then Helena walks in on Alicent and Sir Criston doing the dirty. Just tragic. Absolutely tragic. But that's what happens when you're doing the dirty, you know? Alicent, you're getting laid while your grandson's getting slayed. And it's not Rhaenyra's fault. Rhaenyra is still my queen. So it's not confirmed yet if Daemon actually did give the green light on that, but, you know, we'll see. Daemon is definitely one of my top favorite characters, but could be put into question if he actually did give that green light. And it looks like he probably did. So that's interesting. So, and then I saw the little preview of the weeks ahead, and it does look pretty intense. I think Aegon is about to snap as soon as he hears little Jaehaerys gets killed. He's going to snap completely. And that's going to be that, right? But guys, I think that's going to wrap up the video, the stream. But guys, that's the top 5 best moments of the season 2 premiere of House of the Dragon, A Son for a Son. And Daemon does make it a son for a son. Just not exactly the son that Rhaenyra wanted. Rhaenyra was, again, really specific. She said, I want Daemon. But Daemon goes ahead and does his Daemon thing. And so that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But guys, that's going to do it for the show. Thank you guys so much for watching. We are going to be doing these shows weekly, and we're going to be a lot more careful with the copyrights and stuff like that. And yeah, so stay tuned. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you agree with my top 5 list, leave a like, comment. Let me know what you think. If you have a different list, let me know. Comment it. I'm curious to see. And yeah, obviously, if you got other Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon fans, I'm sure they'll love this series. I'm doing it weekly for each and every one of the episodes. So make sure to subscribe and stay tuned. But guys, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.